What is SOAP and how does the whole process work? I'm Dr. Brace. I'm an OBGYN resident and mom of 5 in West Virginia. And we're going to talk today a little bit about the process that is going on today, right now, for fourth year medical students who did not match into their specialty of choice. So this is match week. Yesterday, about I think it was 9:30 Eastern time, fourth year medical students across the country and people applying for residency across the country got emails on whether or not they matched or if they did not match, and they had the opportunity to join the SOAP. So the SOAP is a supplemental application process that allows unfilled residency spots and unmatched residents to kind of combine. So over the last 24 hours, students that got those emails or applicants that got those emails have hopefully revised their applications, maybe gotten new letters, done things to try to pivot into other positions or to apply for what's called a prelim year, which is typically either in surgery, general surgery, or internal medicine, where you spend the year basically just doing surgery, working as a surgery intern or an internal medicine intern. And then, or a transition year, you tend to do rotations in more areas. So you kind of repeat all of the different clinical classes that maybe, or the clinical rotations that you did as a third year medical student. So you repeat internal medicine, surgery, OB, peds, all of the things you tend to repeat. It depends on the program exactly what you do, but there's opportunities for electives and things like that. But in general, you have a little bit more variety in which rotations you're doing throughout the year. So those are in general the categories that are open. I'm not sure what is available in the SOAP this year. It tends to be a lot of primary care and then these prelim or transition year programs that are available. There's a handful of more competitive specialties that don't fill. But again, I don't have any of the data for this year yet because we won't see that until after match is done. It gets released by the ACGME. If you want to see it, you can go to the ACGME website and you can see the reports from all the prior years to see like who matched, all kinds of, they have all sorts of stuff. Anyway, so they've revised their applications, they pivoted towards one of these other programs, and today they are basically sitting in front of a computer waiting for somebody to offer them an interview. So over the course of today and tomorrow, starting at 8, going from about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 or 8 o'clock at night, maybe even 9 o'clock at night, they just have to basically sit in front of their computer, wait to see if they are going to be offered interviews. After that, on Thursday, there will be 4 rounds of the SOAP, where they offer positions to you. The majority of the positions are filled in the first round, and then the second, third, fourth. Obviously, there's the least amount in the end of the 4th round. However, even after the SOAP, after all of that is completed, there are spots available. There are programs who do not offer their positions in the SOAP. There are programs that just don't fill in the SOAP. They tend to be internal medicine, family medicine, TY years, so your transition year, or prelim years. And a lot of, especially programs that have medical schools, will hold some of those spots back in case they have students or applicants who did not match in either the main match or in the SOAP. Your job, if you don't, then scramble and try to find those positions. Additionally, there are a handful of positions that open up outside of the match. For example, in OBGYN, typically if you go to the CREOG clearinghouse, that's where you're going to see all open OBGYN positions. They're sorted out by year. So it's like PGY 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fellowship is how the CREOG clearinghouse works. Other groups do it differently, but this is how OB does it, and I'm just most familiar with OB, so we're going to use that as an example. So typically in April and May, after the match, there will be positions that open for a variety of reasons. Sometimes people can't get a visa that they need. Sometimes people, for whatever reason, just aren't able to take the position. Sometimes there is a whole process of adding positions. That process doesn't get completed in time for that position to be available during the match. Then that position then becomes available after the match. For example, that's how my position came about, was that there had been some shuffling in the program. They needed ACGME approval to basically create my position. So it wasn't available during the match. It was offered outside of the match. And there's multiple GYN positions like that. There's multiple positions in a variety of specialties like that. The trick is figuring out how you find them. Because they're not regulated in any sort of way, you really have to use your network to find those positions. So it is a challenge, but doable if you need to in the scramble. So multiple opportunities. I don't know what other questions you guys have about the SOAP. Sorry, these are all kind of long videos, but these process is sort of, it's archaic and it's frustrating. There is a purpose to it. It's more fair than what it used to be, but I mean, obviously with any system that we can do better, and we do need to figure out ways to improve the match to make this whole system less just crazy. Because you really have no time during match week to figure out how you are pivoting, changing your whole life. And that's part of why I personally didn't. We knew that if we weren't going to match, we were not going to pivot. We were going to look for prelim and TY year positions only. And that I was going to take a really hard look at the things that I didn't do well, that I needed to do better on. Really work to improve my application. And that was just our personal choice, because this is a lot. It's a lot of emotions, and it's really. So what other questions do you guys have about the SOAP, about the scramble afterwards, how you can help support a resident or an applicant who maybe didn't have the best day on Monday, or maybe doesn't have the best day on Friday? I'm going to try to do a whole bunch of these because I can tell that you guys all have questions. So I'm going to do my best to answer them. If you guys have more questions, please let me know. I'm happy to try to pivot and give you guys as much information as I can.